Mic check 1 2, live and direct. The Brand Brothers. Ashwin, we gotta get the crop on that.
I'm not graphically gifted enough, not technologically savvy enough for that.
That's false.
How's everyone looking? We got 2 more weeks left. Oren is coming off of 17 lives with his cut 30 squad.
I am. We're doing a daily. We're doing a daily breakdown. We had 1,500 people sign up for this thing, which I didn't expect.
What is the thing?
It was no longer a Zoom.
Break down the thing, because in a way, this is last week in marketing, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. So we did a 7-day challenge, basically, that for people to who like we have all these people that are like, hey, we can't afford cut 30, or we don't know if we really want to do content, whatever. So we're like, all right, cool, we'll do a free one. 7 days, you do a one-shot video, you do a vlog, and you do a yap, and we like break it all down. There's like curriculum, and you share it in the Slack. And we were like, cool, we'll probably get like a couple hundred people. We usually have about 60 to 100 people in each cut 30. Maybe we'll get 300, 500. There's 1,500. Which means that like Slack invites is a nightmare. We can't use Zoom unless we upgrade to the crazy version. So we're like streaming them all on YouTube because people have technical difficulties. It was like the easiest way to do it. So we've been doing basically the whole thing live every day. We're on day 4. But man, we had someone got a 200K video yesterday. Like all these people getting 6-figure videos like right out the gate. So that's been good, but it's just been like I've been live every day, you know.
Wow. When are y'all doing it?
What are these videos? What are these videos that they're doing?
So basically, well, like it's like a one shot. The easiest way we found to break the seal on making content is do one of those videos. It's like, hey, the exercise is like one clip, and then we give you an option. It's like it's either like motivational or like a tip or whatever, and we give you like the exact text and whatever. The one that broke off was a yap. Like we give you a very specific yap. It's like choose from one of these 4 hook types. It's like blank needs to blank. Blank is like a divisive statement, that kind of thing. And so one guy did one where it was basically like kids, like the youth should be getting married now, as opposed to like fucking around. And it's like 250,000 views. And then most of the other ones are all like one shot videos. A lot of them ones that are popping off are all like interior related, like people doing home renovations for some reason.
Shout out Hans Laurie.
You could build an entire channel just around that concept of adopting like a boomer mentality. Just like told by a young person. It's like younger people need to work harder at corporate gigs and get married earlier.
1,000%. What is happening on the screen? Okay.
Sorry. Breaking out the layout. I was just going to give people the agenda real quick here. We've got Enron has come back. We've got 8 Sleep supplement, which will no doubt have something interesting. We have a top Puma athlete who threw his boots in the trash after a game. Skims and North Face. NIL is reaching new heights, and Bottega Veneta has a new creative director. What else? Anything else, gents, that people can expect?
Ashwin, you want to break down? You can go through your pitch process. What do you?
Yeah, we're later today because because we actually all do work in marketing. So Ashwin did have a pitch today.
Yes, I had a big brand presentation where which ties into the supplement space because we're working with a client launching a supplement brand that has SKUs across sleep and focus and testosterone. So I've been spending a lot of time in that landscape, and that's where the 8 Sleep supplement caught my attention because I think they just launched today, and I think there's some interesting things going on there.
Yeah, well, especially I think that's probably a good topic to hit too because there's all these Facebook changes where Meta now. You're basically prohibited. Most supplements are going to be in a different class where running Meta ads is going to be extremely hard.
Yeah. So what is the news there? Because I saw some information about it. Are you fully?
Yeah. So basically, originally people thought it was like anything that has like a strong claim or something is subject to a different set of rules or whatever. But I think I'm actually, if there's anyone super savvy who's in the chat who wants to comment on this, feel free to break it down. But my understanding now is it's almost everything that's a supplement is like basically can't use like basically the ID system. You're not gonna be able to track people from my understanding or something of that nature. So, but it means that like any cost of acquisition you have now on Meta for any supplement level product is going to go away.
Interesting. And that is Meta coming out forthcoming. And they're saying, hey, we're just going to institute this rule. I wonder what's in it for Meta or what kind of pressure they're getting.
Well, I think we've all seen, right? We get these supplement ads that are putting these claims out there. I just think they can't control them. And so they're starting to realize that that like, hey, since we can't monitor the ads like that or try to go to who has verified claims or not, we're just going to remove the category. But again, I'm not like super deep on this. I just know several people who are freaking out about their brands.
Yeah, I would think that would be a real blow to the supplement industry. I mean, it is absolutely boomed. I mean, TikTok sometimes, I don't know, we're all in different algorithms, but I feel like TikTok Shop is thriving on creatine gummies and protein powders and protein brownie bites.
All right, so here I found some of the details. So Meta will limit how data is shared. So basically purchase and lead confirmation. So basically like how you establish your cost of customer acquisition is going to go away. And then there's going to be restrictions on purchase as a conversion in there. So you can only optimize for things like landing page views and not conversions in Ads Manager. And then there will be retargeting and attribution are going to be very limited. So basically that just means that your funnel is going to get way more expensive.
Got it.
Maybe we'll limit all of the supplement brands out there. Who knows? I know that TikTok, especially in TikTok Shop is a magnet for supplement products, and they have been getting a lot better around claims that are made in live. So TikTok is just very good about monitoring, having the tech to monitor the language as it's happening live.
Well, very good is a bit of a statement in that like they'll just slap anything. It's more of like, if you make anything, any claim, no matter what, you're getting slapped and you're going to get struck, whether it's legit or not.
Yes. We ran.
They just have the heavy-handed approach.
Yes. Which makes sense because I remember last year just seeing a lot of supplement brands that were like just running crazy carousels. But so that's forthcoming in the supplement space. But I think if you pop open 8 Sleep, so this is interesting because 8 Sleep, well-known mattress topper company for sleep health optimization and performance. They sell these several $1,000 top. Do any of you guys have an 8 Sleep?
No, I looked at it pretty closely and then didn't go with it.
Yeah. So
same.
They've been in the space for a handful of years now. I know they're doing over $300-400 million a year. Well-known player in kind of sleep performance tracking. The other day it was interesting because as I've been in the weeds on the supplement project, I was thinking like, hey, Oura Ring should launch a supplement brand. Because anyone who just cares this much about tracking all of these performance metrics in their life are going to want to be supplementing with all of these products for focus, for sleep, for anything. And so when I saw 8 Sleep do it today, I was like, yeah, this is a no-brainer for them. And I think it is, it's interesting. I have just seen over the past year, the amount of magnesium, like glycinate, threonate, like all of these brands launching where they're like, hey, you need the right magnesium supplementation in order to get the best recovery and sleep. So it helps you sleep better, but also helps your muscles recover better. And so there's this really nice intersection with the consumer of 8 Sleep and them wanting a product like this. It's not often that I see a brand like, I think Alo Yoga launched some supplements, and I was like, I don't know, the supplements looked a little bit sketchy, and I'm like, I was running some polls on like, hey, if you're an Alo consumer, like, do you trust these supplements? And it was like kind of a prevailing no, but there were people who were like, yeah, I'd try it once or twice. And who knows, maybe they're doing well, but I find a much closer fit from 8 Sleep's standpoint with their audience and the supplement.
That's a great point. Here, what was hovering over this was like furry slippers, I think, over this when it first stopped up. And I think your mattress and people sleeping and the marketing material already is actually like just a much more seamless transition, Yeah,
well, I think there's two, so we're seeing a lot of brands now. Once you reach penetration depth in your market where your cost of customer acquisition is like way higher, it's harder to find those new customers. Like 8 Sleep is there, right? Like if you knew about 8 Sleep and you wanted one, they've passed over that curve. And I think you'll see the same thing. Look, we saw this with Ridge Wallet. They branched into luggage. Graza branched into granola, like from olive oil, right? Our Place is making easy bake ovens now. Like once you get to a certain level, great, you still want new customers, but it's easy to expand, right? And it's just like 8 Sleep has a lot of credibility, right? To be able to do this. They have a science-backed product. they also, you're already paying a recurring subscription to them, which is why I really dislike that brand, because I think that's kind of a ridiculous thing to be asking your customers to do. But like, hey, you might as well put your supplements on that same thing if you've already made that leap. And then Alo, it's the same thing. It's like a lifestyle choice, right? It's a yoga workout gear. Do I trust their supplements a little less because their product is already kind of mediocre? Sure. But also that consumer is very much like completely aligned. Oh, just give me whatever's easy. So I think this is like something we're going to see a lot more of, right? If you have that customer base, you have that email list, you want to raise that value, you're tapping out of your top level, like why not branch out? And then supplements is like the highest margin thing you can do.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. The supplements, yeah, is like printing cash.
What's y'all Substack looking like right now? What are y'all taking?
My Substack. Hey, well, after all these years of like, I was a personal trainer years ago, and you study the fitness industry. It's basically like protein and creatine are two that are just the foundations. Coincidentally enough, I also got my food allergy test back this week. And I'm allergic to flaxseed, which I put in my smoothies every day as well. Also,
that's why everything's been going left.
Yes, everything's been going left. Well, it would probably also be I'm mildly allergic to eggs, and I eat it literally 2 to 3 a day, so that probably didn't help.
I think everyone's mildly allergic to eggs.
Yeah, that's what I think so too. Anyway, yeah, creatine, probably my own. I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm super jacked.
And Ashwin, you're just dousing yourself in sun powder?
I'm dousing myself in sun powder. I'm dousing myself in Notable. Notable.
I'll take that Notable Alpha every fucking day. That shit is great.
I'm doing sublingual dosage of Notable Alpha.
Wow.
You can't take the
I know I can take the capsules. I just wanted to hit faster blood.
Oh yeah. No, if you guys haven't seen this is like if you are a man in your 30s, 40s, and you want that testosterone, that Notable Alpha is a absolute game changer.
Is it?
Yeah, they make a focus supplement, a testosterone supplement. Their focus supplement is good, but
yeah, focus on is deep. The testosterone supplement is a game. It's the only thing. I pay $100 a month or whatever it is for that shit. It is excellent. I take my levels all the time. It impacts the levels like significantly. It's great.
We should know this is not a paid advertisement, right?
Not a paid advertisement. These are great guys. So if you're on Twitter, if you're one of the Twitter streamers watching this and you've watched, I believe he was Newt Bro. I think he's changed it to like Newt Guy or something like that. He was one of the early ones. I'm like, hey, here's the blends, right? They'd be posting like, hey, if you're trying to do this, here's these 7 alternatives to natural alternatives to Xanax or whatever it is. Like, here's like all these things you can do to try instead. And I was following along on a lot of that, found a lot of really interest in what it is. Oh shit, James Camp. The best and the brightest, Notable. Let's go. But they really engineer some super high quality stuff, and from some guys I really respect.
Wow. All right. Notable. Note to self. All right. What just the crossover, Ashwin, is the interesting thing there with 8 Sleep. Yeah. Synergy. Yeah. Got it.
Crossover is the interesting thing.
Yep. Totally. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have on our agenda today? We've got Enron. Do we want to go over Enron's reboot here? This is wild.
We might as well. We keep seeing this in the feed. It's obvious people are being paid to post it and not disclosing it, at least on Twitter. Like all the viral accounts are doing it. And it's just, it'll be like Enron CEO gets hit by a pie. Enron CEO, like new Enron CEO video. And it's just a crypto coin.
Is that right? I haven't dove into the details. So it's like,
it's just a coin.
Okay. Has it launched as a coin yet?
Yeah. It's like a thing.
Are you an investor in Enron coin?
I am not. I am not in any.
Did you get some of the Haktua coin earlier this week as well?
But this whole thing is just like it's. But I will say why this is relevant to us talking about this here is it just shows that power of brand equity, right? Yeah. They are able to say the Enron name, them buying the rights to the Enron name, allows them to just hammer the timeline every time people go Enron. Yeah. And get attention every time purely off the power of that name, despite what it is associated with. In fact, because of what it is associated with. And I think that just shows you how much, like, if you have any legacy thing of any level of clout, how much that gives you a starting point. I liken it to, like, if you're starting a brand as a creator versus you're starting a brand having no following, it's like the same kind of thing, right? Like that name just gets you in a certain amount of doors. Now, if you see both, even better.
Man, it's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, they invested heavily. I mean, they were running billboards. They took out a full-page ad. Their announcement video on Instagram, which was just saying, "Hey, Enron's back," had like 6 million views. So they're coming back. They're selling merch. There was also this period for a little while last year where I saw a lot of Enron t-shirts just like floating around on TikTok, and people are like, "Hey, we gotta these companies that were disgraced, we gotta just like resell their put their logo on some worn tees." So it is it's an interesting play, but I have not seen anything about the coin as of yet.
Yeah, so apparently, okay, looking at this, it's not out yet, but basically everyone's like hinting it's a coin.
Got it.
And then they'll do a rug pull for the second time. Wouldn't that be something?
Amen.
Yeah, shocking.
Well, man, it's one of those where like you should have known.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was thinking about that about the Hawk Tuah girl doing a coin and all these people getting ripped off. I'm like, dude, if you bought a crypto coin from the Hawk Tuah girl and
Yeah, you deserve everything you got coming to you.
Anything other than to get fleeced, you deserve this.
You know, I think there is. Let's talk about that point for a second. So I know Oren deals with this, especially on TikTok. Jordan, I don't know how deeply you deal with this. I have like 60 impersonator accounts on TikTok. They all just repost my videos, and every now and then people will DM me and they'll be like, "Hey, I got a follow from you," or like, "I'm so excited, I got a follow from you," and then I got a message from you, and they'll show me screenshots, and it's like these people will just reach out and like right off the bat blatantly be like, "Hey, have you ever thought about like optimizing your trading strategies or investing strategies?" I've never made a single video about investing, trading, any of those things. I like steer very clear of that commentary, but there's still my followers out there who just like feel bad that they almost got like they were engaged by this person and they responded because they so viscerally thought it was me. And so you have these people who are like, no one ever thinks they're going to like fall for a scam, but I can almost very easily see how people are following like Hawk Tuah and they're like, "Oh, crypto, like Bitcoin's at $100,000. This might be my opportunity to get in on something interesting. Who knew Dogecoin could have made you a billionaire had you invested 2 years ago?" So I can understand it. I can certainly understand it.
And be careful on the scammers because they get smarter. Not to give more people ideas that are out there, but like the screenshots I'm getting now are like, "Hey, are you enjoying my content?" So this is a fake me sending it to whoever. Then it's like, "Oh, have you heard about my private program?" And then it's like, it's a private program for like trading crypto or whatever it is. But like, it's like people are all excited and they're sending people be like, "Hey, I hadn't heard back from you. I wanted to follow up about the." I'm like, bro, like this is fake, you know.
Look, so I got one of these this morning. Like Nelly Korda is the famous golfer, and it's basically like a Nelly Korda 416, and it's like, hey, but it's interesting because TikTok, the username will just show up like Nelly Korda liked your video or whatever, and I happened to see that last week, and I was like, oh, but then you tap on their profile and it's like Nelly Korda 4167825, and they do the same with us. I've had a bunch of people send me, hey, oh man, I was so excited to get your follow. And then, you were selling me crypto.
Started selling me crypto. Yeah.
I was like, dude, if I ever send you a message about crypto, it is not me, I assure you.
Well, that's why Jimmy Farley had it on TikTok for a minute where his profile picture was the like over his eyes was like, "I will not DM you."
Oh, I love that. Like, that's smart. That's super creative. We need that. I mean, honestly, y'all, this just reinforces the point of media literacy. I think is perhaps one of the best skills to know going into the future. Like, understand what is real and not real, and being able to like filter through, those types of things are incredible. Incredible skill to have.
What's next on the agenda?
Yeah, let's see here. We've got Puma cleats. All right, let's talk about this.
Yeah, it's your world, brother.
This is my world. I know. I don't even know. Like, this is so wild here. I'm going to show it to you. I wonder if it's helpful to just like play one of the videos.
Yeah, pop that over.
Okay, yeah. Let me break this open real quick. But hold on. Pull up my content here. We're going to talk about this. So basically, like a top football player for Chelsea FC put on one of Puma's new cleats. As you know, like a lot of times these big brands, Nike, Adidas, Puma, they will, get their top athletes into their featured cleats. And this week, Cucarea. I've never heard of this dude, but he's got 2 million followers on Instagram, and he's got Puma Football in his Instagram and Twitter bio. So he's at least some sort of significant athlete. People on TikTok and Instagram will always remind me what I'm getting right and wrong about global football, especially when I talk about soccer. So let me play this video for y'all, and it's really interesting, probably 90 seconds, but it's a fascinating case study of an endorser and what can potentially go wrong. So here we go.
Their new £220 Future 8 boots on Friday, just in time for the
Y'all hear
Christmas
this?
rush. And you know, they've spent months locked away in the lab crafting these boots. So you can imagine that the marketing team have been working overtime and plugging these boots to aspiring footballers. And they pulled off a big coup when they persuaded Euro 2024 hero Mark Cucurella to don the new boots for Sunday's game against Spurs. So I imagine that at Puma HQ, all the technicians and the lab staff, along with their families, gathered around the TV to watch their Christmas product grace the Premier League for the first time. And then their heart sank. So after 5 minutes, Cucurella slipped and gifted Tottenham the opener. And then 7 minutes later, he slipped again, and Tottenham are 2-0 up. So at this point, Cucurella sprinted to the touchline and ripped off the boots, threw them away, and put on another old pair. Luckily for him, Chelsea recovered to win the game. But for Puma, things were about to get even worse. So as soon as Cucurella was back in the dressing room, he posted a picture of his new boots in the bin.
In the trash.
Which, as marketing stunts go, is pretty much as bad as it can get. He did eventually delete the post. I imagine after an angry call from his agent reminding him about the multi-million-pound boot deal that he'd signed with Puma.
Yes.
So Puma launched.
All right. So yeah, it's he debuts their brand new like viral sensation boot, and he slips a couple of times and basically just blames it on the new cleat that Puma is putting on him and debuting, and then the fool like takes him off at halftime or on the side of the field, which happens all the time. I see this with my hometown guys. Luka is notoriously like, a lot of these players are really like finicky about what they wear. So they'll change at halftime. Maybe they start with the new boot or the new shoe, and then they'll change at halftime into something older that they feel more comfortable in. But then for him to like go afterwards and drop them in the trash and post it on his Instagram story is complete. I mean, it's just madness. I don't know what I assume they're freaking out at Puma today. I don't know whether they would. Let me just ask y'all this. What would you do if one of your top, like I've heard he's probably top 20, top 10, not anywhere near your like top 5 or anything. What would you do, or how would you respond to this?
I mean, I would help. I would basically be like, hey, if you want to keep this multi-million-dollar endorsement deal, which they may not at that point, but be like, he has to get in the lab and work with the team on the shoe that, like, whether it comes out a year from now or 2 years from now, that meets his standard, right?
From trash to treasure.
Exactly, Ashwin. Thank you.
Big campaign, multi-year long. But hold on this point of a multi-million-dollar deal. Is this a multi-million-dollar deal? Like, what are some of the mechanics of this?
Probably not like, it's not as much as everybody probably thinks. Like, if he's only top 20, it's Puma. They're not the biggest brand, but he's a big dude for Chelsea.
Certainly above $1 million.
Yeah, it's a significant deal. And it's funny, Nick here in the comments said this is reminds him of Bryson and Cobra. Bryson DeChambeau, which we'll talk about in a minute, did like roast one of his drivers, like, you know, famously in the post-game press conference or in public, and it's just not the move. You can just say like, hey, I'm struggling, I'm having a hard time, but you know, to trash the people who are paying you to help do this. I'm with you, Ashwin. I immediately would take like the damage control and lean into it. So I did a video saying, you know, I thought they should do some like, you know, trash to treasure. I thought they could do Tiny Mike, the football marketing team. I thought they could do like a Tiny Mike series, like, hey, trash or treasure, and just kind of wink, wink, nod, nod to it. I thought they could do a series of like drills where they took the boot out of the trash. Like the beginning of the video would be taking the boot out of the trash and like doing something fun with it. I also thought like I don't know, you could just do drills where you're kicking into trash cans. And I show like a video here. Josh Dobbs and others use trash cans a lot of times when they're throwing like footballs as targets or anything. But I think there's a way, like I would lean into this. I think about California Pizza Kitchen, which we covered here a couple months ago, and you did a great video on. Like in this day and age, I think leaning into this is probably your better move.
I don't think you want to associate your brand with trash. I think this is so far down. The California Pizza Kitchen one wasn't like the end of the world, whereas this was like basically saying your product is trash, and then to continually remind people that people thought your product was trash seems, I would go the opposite way. But I would like, again, work it over time and then come back. And if you come back a year later, like, oh, this guy endorses it now, you get another moment later.
That's true. I guess I would just like say, I think that actually one of the things I didn't include here, but I thought he could do an educational component after this while saying, hey, there's actually, and from what I'm reading, you know, there's 3 different types of studs that you use in different conditions. Like maybe he just selected, like I would just try to figure out a way to blame it on him. Like he picked the wrong pair of cleats ahead of time, or the equipment manager didn't set him up for success. And maybe Puma they didn't know it was going to rain that day. So I would say, hey, this is an education issue. It's like different strokes for different folks kind of thing, and try to, you know, recover there. I don't know. But this is absolute sacrilege in my world of sports marketing. This is every, you know, footwear marketer's nightmare.
Not more importantly, but equally importantly and interestingly, why is Adam Mosseri in your comment saying thanks?
Dude, actually, sorry, we do need to go. Did he say thanks? Oh my God, he did.
He said thanks.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe he left Facebook and he's now on Puma's marketing team. He's like, thanks for the idea.
No, so what I put in the back of this video was, I think Mosseri does one of the best jobs. While we're at it, I'll just click on him. He does a lot of stuff where he just does forward facing, like addressing questions and controversies. And I think he's the best CEO that seems to come across the most natural while doing this. And so I referenced Mosseri as like a best in class example. Sure, he's got a PR team, I'm sure, who's like feeding him stuff, you know, and helping get the talking points, but he comes across as like natural and conversational and intently trying to answer people's questions.
Yeah. And he does a great job in the face of just getting demolished 24/7
every day,
every form of social media. I highly appreciate. I appreciate a lot what he does, and I agree. If there's any strategy here, if they do have a good answer to this, like someone from Puma doing something like this, I feel is a lot better than trying to like continue to bring up the trash analogy.
Yeah, that's fair. But this would be, I think you could
poor Adam Mosseri. Imagine waking up every day just being like, I wonder how people are destroying me on Threads this morning, you know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no wonder. I was probably the only person on Instagram who's mentioned something nice about him, so he's in my comments.
Adam, we're fans. We understand what you're going through. Good luck out there, brother. It doesn't get easier. It gets worse.
Hold it down. Yeah. We salute to you, Mr. Mosseri. Okay. Let's see. What else is on our agenda today?
Skims in the North Face.
Do you want to talk Skims? Do you want to give people, do you have context for this, Oren?
Yeah. I can give a quick one. I know Ashton put it on there. She probably has some thoughts, but I can tee it up. So Skims in the North Face launched. Excellent art direction, as Skims is known to do. People dislike the Kardashian empire, but they have a knack of doing hot things. I mean, also in related news, Kai Times Entire Studios was also announced with whatever her name is, the mom as the model. There's all kinds of good stuff going on in the Kardashian world. But this was announced. There's a couple things that were interesting about this. One, good campaign, good art direction. Two is the color choice, which is very like Yeezy 7 years ago, which everyone was quick to call out. That it's just like, oh, this is a Yeezy North Face collab, like masquerading as Skims. And then there was a whole conversation around, someone was saying online that this is all just dead stock North Face, that they just embroidered a Skims logo on to help move through the dead stock, which they were saying that like a bad thing. I was like, look, if that's actually the case and they actually sold that, like that's actually a fire idea and good for everybody involved. Yep. But anyway, Ashton, what do you have to say about this one?
Yeah, I think those are good points. I think some of the interesting conversation that I saw about this was like, hey, those colors, like if you know anything about skiing or snowboarding, like those are the colors that you should definitely not be wearing on the mountain. And it's like, don't worry, like,
no one is going to be wearing this on the mountain. This is a performance art.
Are not hitting anything more than a couple of greens before like après for the rest of the day.
I was like, bro, the nude color of this pufferway is going to have every Orange County mom that I know in an absolute stranglehold, and they will go nowhere near a ski slope anywhere around this.
Yeah, I mean, you know what, y'all? I'm wearing a bit of a puffer today. This has never seen a snow. This has never seen a mountain in its day. You know,
Never seen them Dallas slopes? Yeah.
the Dallas frigid cold nature here. Oren, though, you know what this reminded me of? I thought it was an interesting timing. The color,
Oh yeah, if you go back to the previous page, the
yeah,
background color, when you're scrolling on the main
okay,
page, if you scroll down a bit more,
yeah,
the background color when they do the load and parallax, that
yeah.
color is Mocha Mousse, the Pantone
Oh, is
color
it
of the
really?
year. Yeah.
Wow. I thought
Which
that
is
was like,
definitely some coordination.
yeah, I thought that was interesting timing.
I actually wonder, I'd love to check on Wayback Machine. I give it, that's not one of the colors that's of the clothing, but that is Mocha Mousse. I actually give it like an 80% chance, or at least a 50% chance, that they saw Mocha Mousse, and then updated the background color to be that.
That's like next level SEO.
Well, they're super savvy with their site, Skims is. If you've noticed, when you go to the different sections of the site, the headers colors match the colors of the collections. They have all these little Easter eggs in there. Their website design is actually extremely well done. And this has not been the year of Skims. The way 2023 was the year of Skims, they absolutely smashed. This was a much lower year for the brand, but they're ending on this note. By like, people are like trying to act like this is going to be a ski collection. This is be something it's not. This is just the Gap for 2024. This is like literally what this is. It's just mainstream, decent clothing that is stylish in basic colors that people who are middle class and lower middle class consume a lot of.
Fair point here. Fair point. Touche.
I like that lockup. The logo lockup looks good too.
I agree. Yeah.
You're like, I do not want to agree.
Yeah. I know. They're brilliant business people. You got to give them that. You know, they're just gonna roll the stuff out there. But interesting from a North Face stand. I mean, people can't resist the Kim. They just can't resist the Kardashian thing. I mean, I don't understand.
I don't think it's they can't resist the Kardashian thing. I think they just have a massive mouthpiece. They do very well done art direction for the level of what they're selling, right? Even Kim's got Nadia Lee Cohen, who's like absolute fucking legend, like photographer, art director, doing all of her shit. And they just have a massive mouthpiece. They have other massive celebrity, so that anything they do gets that distribution, and they just do a totally decent job. And like that's kind of all you need. So I don't think it actually even has anything to do with the Kardashians. It just has to do with that attention industrial complex.
Yeah, that's true. I just totally random here. I just wanted to call out, speaking of beautiful art direction and photography, I thought like Caitlin Clark's Time magazine, amazing. I thought this was, for whatever reason, I just felt like this was the best version I've ever seen of her in like marketing. She seemed like comfortable. And I think not enough people realize, you know, selecting the right photographer, makeup artist, you know, director, all those people, they were very clear to call that stuff out. And I think it just makes all the difference in the world when it comes through in the content. And she seemed to be very comfortable on this one.
So I've been following that woman. I think her name is Bree, who's her personal photographer. Sorry, I know my camera just died. But and so I think so she has like some care going into aesthetic too. Also, how old is she? Isn't she like super young?
The woman who's shooting her stuff?
No, I mean Caitlin Clark, right? Like,
oh yeah, she's 23 years old, 22 years old.
Yeah, a lot of that comes naturally over time too, of like, you know, you get more comfortable, you understand how to pose, like a lot's happening.
Yeah, it's true. I feel bad for Caitlin Clark personally. I haven't done like a video on this because, you know, the internet there's a weird, like so many things today, like this political tone has turned around her because she's a white woman, you know, has got all this energy for a league that is predominantly black. But, you know, she's this kind of lightning rod and is just really fascinating. Has kind of taken the world by storm. But I feel bad because, you know, in this new era, or, you know, people get famous and then they so quickly, we've talked about this with campaigns and viral things where people then so quickly get sick of that person. You know, you get so much of it today and you get it in your eyeballs and your ears. We saw this with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and whatever the trend, Brat Summer. And I felt like that happened to Caitlin. Like she was this like Iowa young woman from the Midwest who was thrust into the spotlight and suddenly is on like political talk shows, involved in all this, like people discussing her, and it seemed like she got kind of burnt out, you know? And I feel bad because she she seems like she just wants to play basketball and like have a good time, but
Yeah, well,
anyway.
look, I think it happens like it is interesting. Like the I don't know what the right way, like what the right way to phrase it is. More like eyeball burning culture or whatever it is. But I think we all deal with this too, right? You go viral a couple videos in a row, and you're posting every day the way most of us do. Your audience sees you fucking relentlessly, and they just get tired, right? Like I lose 200 to 300 followers a day on Instagram. So whenever I grow, I have to surpass that. And look, and I get it because the way the algorithm works, if you watch my shit, you are relentlessly shown it forever. Of course, you're going to get tired of it. And then this is just the 100,000x level of that, right? Like it's very hard to like, how do you ever, you can't succeed unless you're thrusting things out there to that level, but then you burn people out on it. So you're kind of in this like acquisition, retention, rediscovery flywheel,
Yeah. I think about this a lot when I think about anytime the algorithm do you guys ever like hate watch something or something comes up in your feed and you're like, this is so terrible that I'm going to continue watching. I can't turn my eyes away. And the algorithm will continue.
I had to happen with that. The woman who slept with 100 guys. Did you see this? I showed up on the timeline. I was like, oh my God, what is this horrible thing? And then Twitter, I like just removed Twitter because it would not stop showing me like other content related to it. I'm like, this is the last thing I ever want to see in my life again,
Right. But the algorithm, this is where I think like I'm not as, I know people flame me for this, but I'm not that worried about AI in the very short term because it can't get even the fundamental thing like it's so dumb that it thinks just because you watch this thing, you're desperate for more of it. And it's like, no, I just couldn't turn my eyes away because that thing was terrible. So, it's the computers aren't that smart sometimes,
Well, also, there's two UI interfaces that I would love to have added to basically every app, but especially YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. One is just a big button that's just no more of this. And even if it's up, down, like no more, yes, like, but the immediate no more would be fucking great. And because it knows. And the second would be, I bought this. Because like if I'm getting remarketed to 100 times, like, okay,
already bought.
So then, and then the brands will pay on the back end for that attribution. How many people said that I bought this, right? Like it's a feature that will exist, but that will help everybody. Anyway.
Yes, you're so right. Ashwin, what do you hate? What is in your feed that you've hate watched? Is it the, what do you have to offer my daughter?
It's Brian Jordan Alvarez. Just hate watching him market his show. That's probably the main one. There's always like certain timeline stories of hate watching stuff, like very topical pieces, and then your entire.
Yeah, what was I on last night? I was I'm going to Barcelona here shortly, and I've been looking up all this Barcelona stuff. And one of the things I was like, there was all these. I watched like one video of like a DJ in a rooftop in Barcelona of like a place I wanted to go, and now I'm getting all these DJ videos. And so I watched a couple more. They're pretty good. And then I get into the DJs in weird places algorithm, and it was like a woman in a crazy outfit in like a swamp. There's geese all around her. Just geese. I'll send you the video, and she's just. I was just like, all right, here we are. This is the full 2024.
Yeah.
Blaze
brings up a good point here.
Not interested buttons to hit the comment, but they're not like, it's like, oh, I got to go dig and select and do 4 things. Like, nope, hit it.
That's it. There's no like in the simple way that there is a like, comment, share button. There is not a simple like dislike button. It's like you have to tap the 3 things and then show that you're not interested. And we don't need all that.
I did just send the goose video to the chat. I don't know if it's easy to bring up on screen, but I feel like it's worth it as a cultural anthropology exercise.
Yes.
Just so you can see what my algo looking like nowadays.
Yep. This is what Oren's algo looks like in real time here. Wow. We've got DJ. Let me put some sound on here.
I was gonna say the beats minimal.
Wow, literal geese. Just theater of the absurd, though.
Just
not a fun insight.
Immaculate video.
So good. AI can never recreate it.
It is it is something that I think we always talk about with content and standing out, right? It's like, what is your visual hook? What is your verbal hook? Do you have both of them? Like her DJing in her room being like, hey, here's this new song that I wrote. It's like, all right, swiping. I don't know who you are unless you just catch me with like a very fire beat off the hook. But it's like, hey, the geese caught me and I'm just listening to you in the background. But I'm really watching these geese and trying to like piece together the situation. So there's ways to use like these tactics to hijack attention. Which I think can get tired kind of quickly. But
Yeah, well, not to take this like 7 levels deeper into DJ TikTok already, but like, so there's DJs that like really do this, right? That are like, that who's like a good one is like Zulan's a good one. Let me pull up her account real quick. So she is every single gig. I'll send the message here is filmed differently. And so she's got one that's kind of like a boiler room setup with a crowd that was going really viral. There's one that's like kind of where it's full horizontal. There's one where it's like bleed, you know, like yeah, because you click into one of those up there. Yeah, one of the 1.8 mil exactly. Like, so if you watch that, it's full horizontal and it's got that boiler room feel. People are having a good time. There's some that are shot vertical, like from the side, but every show is basically just a clip farm of like what the hot drops are. Are there good looking people? What's she wearing? And it was an interesting way to look at it where I was like, man, that's a whole, like someone's plotting. Like every show is visually different when you scroll through her stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's for the content. I mean, the DJ booth is a content machine, you know.
Well, especially she's always wearing a certain jersey. There's always interesting people. There's like, you wait for the drop. It's actually really well built for content.
Yeah, I'm kind of a sucker for the DJ electronic, you know, content.
I have. So Christian was asking if I've seen the Kofi sets in a hotel bathtub. Yes, only as recently, and then obviously the elevator one. And there's a whole subculture of this, right? But it goes back to like the idea of format, which is something that I think all of us should be thinking a lot about going forward. And obviously we should think about bits related to this pod, is that idea that like, look, my boy Thor's videos work because he's chopping wood, right? If you are doing it, like there's that one girl who just eats a steak every day and talks, but like the act of like doing a thing in a place and having that be recurring and having that be a part of your TikTok, like the way Nara cooks a meal and some couture every day or whatever it is, like that's something that is inherently better than just yapping the way that we do. Like if we then give it a setting, I'd even argue that like Jordan kind of has that because of so many of your videos are in stores that's kind of a thing that you expect. But I think that's something people should be thinking about for them and their brands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. The whatever your shtick, it's just like I think it's like a comfort thing, you know. It's like, what can I expect from this person, and what is this recurring series? You know, I do the golf ball thing sometimes, and you know, people seem to really like that. It's kind of the Pope in the pool concept, which I don't know is a bizarre term, but it's really just paying attention to what you're doing. Otherwise, it's fascinating. I was trying to find some good DJ content.
What is a Pope in the pool?
Have you never heard that concept?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't hang with Landforce at all because he says that shit fucking every day.
That's the name of this concept, which is, you know, why someone starts doing the cutting board while they're talking to you, why someone is like making a salad while they're talking to you about stock prices and investment, is because it gives the user something to be paying attention to while they're listening to you as well. And so my version of that, which I backed into, I didn't realize, was juggling a golf ball while talking about marketing concepts in the golf world. And it's this thing where all these people actually ask me, they'll comment, they'll be like, how many times did you hit the golf ball in that? I'm like, I have no idea. And someone was like, unfortunately, I did the exercise and you bounced it 163 times or something. You know, they're waiting to see if I drop it. They're paying attention to that while also passively sort of listening. So it's called a Pope in the pool, I think, because there was a video clip or something of a Pope at one time. I don't know, or delivering.
Makes sense. I got it. Yeah.
Which could work for the brand fathers concept if we do a full rebrand here, you know. Hunch is asking if we were looking to reposition our brand in this world building environment in the outdoor space. What's your thought for a brand like ours, whose intention is to get people to embrace their instincts?
That requires full day deep dive.
I was going to say that's not an easy one. But I would like find that niche. Like if I don't know what you exactly mean by find your instincts, but if you're like, hey, you're learning to be like more in tune with nature or whatever that is, like really niche down into that and like what that entails. And then the stories that you can tell kind of within that and like the guides you can give people. I think there should be way more out brands that are like teaching people how to build their off-grid compound, teaching people how to catch a dagger as it falls. Like, all right, like how do you make a bow from scratch? Like, I actually think there's a ton of good outdoor content related for that. I had pitched some of this to a brand that then went out of business. They were trying to like do a turnaround. And I was like, hey, you should really come back with this educational strategy. So I've got all that sitting on ice for someone that needs it at some point.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we love that. I don't know what the embrace your instincts thing is, but if it is the outdoors, I mean, the outdoors is the ever present, all giving, beauty content place, just go outside, go to a national park, take a camera,
Synchronized ski.
Capture, take a DJ booth and grab some geese, and you've got some compelling content in no time.
I wish, man, I have so many the unlimited budget and time ideas. Like, man, we got to bring a DJ to the rodeo. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring a valuable DJ to the rodeo. Just
totally. That would be sick. Put him in you should put him in like a Smokey and the Bandit Firebird Trans Am, like the whole nine.
Just playing only Black Angels, just fucking
sick. Yeah. The Brandfather is my new favorite word. All right. Yeah. Let us know in the comments whether you think we should keep it Brand Brothers or go Brandfathers.
I think we're already down the Brandfathers.
Yeah.
I chortled last night as I thought about being it's a good shtick.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
We've got
I gotta head out of here in a couple minutes. Just FYI, we have a photo shoot today. And like the good kind, we got Ferraris, we got models, we got all the shit.
Well, let's go.
Yeah.
But I'll head out. Head out a little early.
Yeah, I think we covered. Our top items from this week. I don't think there was anything. I mean, we have the NIL contracts. We have Louis Trotter, but touch upon some of that briefly.
I think the fascinating thing here is NIL. We've had 2 record-setting contracts in the last couple of weeks. So this kid was the number one high school pick in the country, and he selected Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, no, BYU. So BYU put together these NIL collectives are fascinating. They Dave Portnoy and Larry Ellison got together last week and pit Larry Ellison, second richest man in the world, Dave Portnoy, founder of Barstool Sports, put together their money to pay the top high school quarterback to come to their school, around $3 million a year, probably. And then this week we got the top high school basketball player who is rumored to get about $7 million. And so it's just a fascinating world that they're also, I thought for our marketing is interesting, is they're, creating shell companies and calling this a marketing opportunity and going to pay them $7 million. I mean, they're paying them to actually play, but just a fascinating landscape, and we'll continue to see this value go up. I think there will be a new record-setting deal each week because these athletes haven't reached their actual value to the market yet. So fascinating new time. We got Bill Belichick in college sports now, all kinds of things.
If you missed, someone said they missed the Enron combo. This is all, it'll be on, I think, Jordan and Ashwin's YouTube, have the full thing.
Yeah, we'll have the full breakdown. We're bringing in former execs from Arthur Anderson too to weigh in on.
Yeah, KPMG is going to come weigh in
how it all collapsed, and how we're rebirthing it from the ashes.
Indeed.
Oh, you were on the team for that one?
Yeah, I'm on the team for that.
Oh yeah. All right, the Brand Brothers are limping to the finish of this year.
No, we're going out strong. Orion has another 16 hours of lives.
Yeah, we have 3 more lives.
His own Kai Cenat. He's live every day, 12 days of Christmas, 24/7. Ask him any burning question you have about brand, art direction, creative direction.
I got lives every day. We got sponsored content every day. We're really ending strong.
All right, guys.
Speaking of that, I got to go deliver some sponsored content right now.
Yeah, please, if you're going to support us in any way, go like and comment on our sponsored content. We ask this all the time, but no one does it. So
yeah, please just send it to someone. Honestly, it's even better. Send it to us, quite frankly.
Appreciate it, y'all.
Yeah. All right, y'all.